Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And this is City Alpha 3.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to City Alpha 3, Star Trek podcast here on the Nerd Party Network. I am your host, Daniel Prue, and joining me, as always, are my two fellow Strandies, Darren and Philip. Hey, guys, how's your sci-fi week been, since there's no new Star Trek on right now? What else is going on? Darren, I'm sure there's some Star Wars something or other, or droids or something, or celebration, or
I wasn't attending it, but every year or so they have what they call DroidCon, which is in Indiana, and so a lot of makers have been out there and a lot of cool pictures. Looks like it's been a lot of fun. One day I hope to make it out there, but it is very far and traveling with droids is tricky. So maybe BD, he's like carry-on size, but K2 is like by an aisle of a plane size. So. Are
you going to do a new version of BD's? I don't. He probably hasn't changed much, huh? I don't know if they changed his model.
No, I mean the only thing they really quote unquote changed is they took off the that little kind of black heat sink overdrive unit on his head to put him back to a more neutral state, and then they added this kind of like cylinder on his back that's part of the game because you get a little power with BD that you can do a certain activity as part of like the puzzles. But the big thing about the Survivor game was just the customizability of BD. Yeah. You can find pieces and skin colors and other things throughout the game and customize it. So I played with most of the pieces as the assembly version, which is kind of like the insides and the guts. But yeah, I'm not really planning on changing it. The episode 1-3 PPO. Yeah, exactly. So, but I'm not really planning on changing. Eventually I will probably reprint a whole BD just to kind of clean it up. Like mine's been through a couple of heat waves and just cleaning the inside. As you know, when you're making one of something, you're often cutting corners and shaving things down. And I've recently published the leg files for that I had modded, so other BD builders can make that adjustment if they want to. But yeah, he just needs a little bit of a tinkering, a little bit of upgrading. But yeah, no main plans to change. I do want to build a second BD unit that will be more animatronic and will be bolted to the top of a mouse droid, and so it'll be RC controlled, and you'll drive around the mouse droid with one joystick and BD's head with the other joystick. So that'll be my next project after K2 gets a little more upgrades.
My BD was purple.
Okay.
I don't remember what skin I used. I think it was a hodgepodge, but at first I was like,
even the skins are almost just like shades and things like that. Like you can adjust the coloring within a lot, so it's very customizable.
Oh yeah, definitely. And at first I was like, man, I don't want to take away his little antenna thing. I'm like, that's real cute. And then I did, and I was like, I don't regret it. But there's something to be said about like what does he actually look like? You know what I mean? That's just that's what my mind
when I did the assembly version, I still kept his front face and the ears as stock because he doesn't look like BD if he like, and I mean, I love the designers, but I have to say some of the face upgrades were like, what is this? This is not an improvement. This is just this is something else entirely. Like some had like a wraparound visor, and I'm like, what is going on? But again, you can choose to put that in if you want or not. But
sure.
But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I think I finished it a week ago, but I still want to go in and do some playing around the main world and unlocking some other things now that I have some more abilities and such.
Yeah, still a great game. What about you, Philip? Anything going on in the world of Doctor Who or Enterprise rewatch you want to chat about?
I have 2 episodes left in season 2 of Enterprise, so that means I'll finish that this week and then start my season 1, Strange New Worlds, and since there's only like 5 episodes of that, no, I'm kidding. There's like 10 episodes of that. I should be nice in time for the 16th in this country. I know you get it the 15th in that country.
Country. Yes, you people.
We always get it on the Friday, not the Thursday. So, but that's fine. So yeah. I'm looking forward to.
Daniel, are you going to rewatch or watch season 1?
I should watch it.
You really should,
because you guys are going to make me watch that crossover episode. So I guess I should probably.
That's true. Yeah, but I'll tell you, I'm like the season. I already said this last week. I'm like, once you hit, the end of season 2 and Florida gets sliced, it's a different show. But I just hit like a great, like it was Cogenitor, if you remember that episode, Regeneration, which I'm not saying it's the best one, but it's a good one. First Flight, and that's the flashback. Those are just like 3 bangers in a row, and I was just like, oh man. And so the next one's Bounty, where Archer gets kidnapped, and then after that, it's The Expanse.
Ooh.
The episode,
the
not
TV
the show. Yeah. It took me half a second, Philip, that you switched to talking about Enterprise, because we were talking about Strange New Worlds, and all of a sudden you're like, but then in the 3rd season, it's all, slicing Florida. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, that's
spoilers.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
So
I heard
20 years. So
did we already know this? That Lower Decks got season 5? Anyway, I just saw, can't remember her name off the top of my head. The actress who voices Tendi had posted that on her Insta.
I think the last time I had heard it was basically stated, but there hadn't been like an official, CBS saying we're doing this. But it was like, for all intents and purposes, we all knew a season 5 was coming. Yes. We haven't even aired season 4, right? Like there's only been 3 published seasons.
Right. Correct.
Okay.
So what
What
season of Lower Decks will we be in when we get to season 2 of Prodigy?
That's a good question.
Just curious.
Which part of season 2?
Yeah, that's right.
I want to know is when is the reverse crossover of Lower Decks happening, where the Strange New Worlds crew gets pulled into the animated world?
I feel like they have to do that, or that's part of the episode.
It's probably part of the episode, at least.
Yeah. That reminds me of when
what's going to happen.
The critic showed up on The Simpsons, and the Simpsons are like, we can't wait to see you. And the critic's like, I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, that is a good segue. We were just talking about, some new Trek, some seasons 2s and 3s and 4s and 5s. I want to talk about, I kind of want to, I was thinking about it. I was thinking about Star Trek Picard. And, some of us were pretty
as you look around your room, deciding what to talk about.
He saw a mirror and he thought Picard.
I'm trying to figure out how to frame this properly. But I wanted to try to take a less critical, more of a lessons learned kind of a thing out of it, and put it into some sort of creative use. So I was thinking, okay, let's do a follow-up show. But we can't do Star Trek Cisco. I think we should just leave, Cisco where he is, in the great ether. But we could do Star Trek Janeway. And I was thinking we could do a follow-up show.
AKA Prodigy.
Kind of. Well, no, because Prodigy took place pre-Picard. Right?
Oh.
It does. Yes.
True.
I'm saying yes.
The timeline is all wonky right now. Like, I don't like
you want the 2380s. You want the 80s and 90s leading up to Picard. You want that era.
No.
So this Prodigy is like 10 years ahead of Lower Decks, right?
We did the math on this at one point, but we need to literally.
Because I'll admit you are getting kind of brushing after it. Because I know when Picard is, because it's the 25th century, and we know Lower Decks and Prodigy's before, but Prodigy's like a skosh before, and Lower Decks is a skosh before that, because it's a skosh after Nemesis. And so, but you're only playing with 30 years, right? Between Nemesis and Picard. So there's a huge amount of wiggle room.
And we know, Philip, Resurgence is fit in there as well now. So we have a little extra adventure. But that one takes place almost immediately after Nemesis, I believe.
Yeah, Captain Riker. Spoilers.
But no, I'm talking about a follow-up show to Star Trek Picard that features Admiral Janeway, because we know that's what she is now, even though we didn't get to see her.
Actually, well, she kept being mentioned, so she's still serving in some capacity. Yeah.
And something that would follow since Picard kind of just sort of left this big crisis, essentially. Ongoing crisis, I guess you could call it. The fleet got, all the young people get murdered and tried to kill all the old people.
They were murdering.
People
were murdering.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. So presumably that left things in a pretty weird, complicated state, right? So I just wanted to sort of, what could we do to give them good ideas if they're going to do a follow-up show featuring Captain Janeway? And it's so I guess my first question would be sort of Picard in season 1 is very different than Picard in season 3, of course.
Right.
And Picard in season 2 for that matter.
I was going to say you skipped one, but anyway.
Yeah. So what would, if there was a story to tell, say, would you want to do a one series? Would it be get the Voyager band back together, or would you want to do something sort of different?
I mean, well, this is a first thought, which means it's terrible. I feel like because Voyager has some things in the air, like we know where Captain 7 is. We have not solved Captain Chakotay because it's a Prodigy issue. So it's we can't mention him right now. And then we've glimpsed Captain Tuvok, so we can use him in some capacity because he is defined as existing as a character in Picard. I mean, everything else is obviously on the table. Paris, Kim, B'Elanna. I'm sure I'm forgetting someone. And so
Neelix.
We know where he is, still somewhere. But anyway, that's all to say. What I'm trying to say is because there's only half the Voyager cast that we can play with because they're not doing something else. This could be an excuse to kind of mix DS9 and Voyager. So It's I don't know if Colin Meaney wants to play. So whoever's left, Bashir or Garrett, what? I don't know. There's a million people in DS9. You know what I'm trying to say. But that way you don't have to get everyone in DS9. You don't have to get everyone in Voyager. This could just be, we're going to do a little mix. And then the last thing I'll say, and let y'all talk, is what Picard season 1 tried to do is get away from the central core of the Federation. So they were out there. I mean, they weren't exploring, but the plot was taking them out there. And that's kind of almost what I want to do again, because I don't want to have this is going to sound so antithetical to what I usually say. I don't really want a Starfleet Federation centric Earth, Vulcan. Get out, go somewhere else. Or maybe it's even if Andoria, someplace we don't usually go. Go out. That would be my only thing.
Yeah. Well, so actually, go ahead. Darren, do you have any ideas that pop into your head immediately? What you'd like to see, or
I kind of like Philip's combo idea, but yeah, it's again. I mean, is it a reunion show, or we're kind of just taking these characters further? I mean, because Picard is kind of checking in where these people are, but an actual whole series would be pushing, the story forward in a different way, I'd say.
Well, and this, I didn't even think about this. Can I marry those two things I just said? I just thought of it, and now it seems obvious. It's the Gamma Quadrant adventure. So, Janeway goes to DS9 to then pick up people to go to the Gamma Quadrant for reasons. And then that's you're in the Gamma Quadrant, which we've never really seen in the Gamma Quadrant, despite it being 7 years.
Well, we see a couple of planets, but yeah, not a ton. Well, so yeah, I guess that was...
Janeway's I've done 3 quadrants. I'm ready to scratch a 4th off my list.
That would be pretty funny. So if we boil it down, Picard season 1 was essentially about Data. Again, Data dying. That's kind of what it boiled down to at the end of it.
And the Romulan legacy. I mean, that was sort of the umbrella.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Season 2 was was basically just a time travel episode.
Yeah.
Season 3 was getting the band back together. So that's why I try to if we're going to tell the 10 episode story, it could be a road trip season. Fine. I'm cool with that. They go to the Gamma Quadrant. They have to pick up Odo or whatever, Obviously, you can't do Odo, but something like that, right? So some
in animated form, you could. All things are possible.
Daughter of Oda?
Dal.
Oh, no.
Played by Renee. Yeah, but no, just kidding.
I kind of like this idea. I like the idea that you bring people who have been far away to a crew who has already been to the Gamma Quadrant, and you mix them together because of those skills, right? So we need people who have been, on the other side of the galaxy to do other side of the galaxy kind of things. So you get your smattering of Deep Space Nine people and your smattering of would this be on the Enterprise? Oh God, I hate even.
No, of course not. That's what I like. I'm not laying down any law. I just assume Seven's going to have her own show, so we're not dealing with her.
Oh, okay. We're not even bringing her along. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine. I just figured
we can, but I'm just saying. I just assumed Star Trek Legacy will be coming out, and then so we don't have to worry about.
I was just thinking because Picard had to borrow a ship, that Janeway could just borrow a ship.
Yeah, because I don't know. I feel like I'm doing a trope, and arguably maybe what happened is in Prodigy, but that Mural, I forget what was her name, Mural Paris's ship, whatever ship she was on, she's captain, commander, lieutenant commander Paris, whatever she is during this time period, was on a ship that got lost in the Gamma Quadrant, and so that way you have the excuse that Paris and B'Elanna have come to Janeway. We need to find her. There's some bizarre reason this can't be done officially, or maybe it is done officially. I don't know. And then that's where. And then they pick up the DS9 crew because they know the Gamma Quadrant. And then
Right. So I just so happened, coincidentally enough, last night did a mission in Star Trek Online where I was introduced to Captain Paris, and on his bridge crew was Muriel or whatever her name is. So that takes place well before this would, but just throwing it out there since they take a lot of
Star Trek Online takes place during. Oh yeah, you're right. Probably immediately, it's almost the same time because Star Trek Online is kind of like Picard season 1.
Oh, is it that late? I thought it was a little earlier.
Yeah, it's the 25th century, I think, in Star Trek Online. I feel free to correct me, but I believe I'm right there.
It's been a while. I mean, I've been playing through it, but I don't really pay too much attention to it. But anyways, okay, I'm down with that. So,
and also, if you're talking aftermath and lessons learned, and again, I'm not being critical. I'm just saying we didn't. I mean, I guess we found out about the founders or the rebels, if we're going to use that phrase. But I mean, there's still something there, isn't there?
Wait, are we going back to the chase? The proto founders?
But
That's the same lady.
The legacy of the Dominion War is still there, arguably, if there's something there.
So So I mean, I guess if we're going into the Gamma Quadrant, you have to deal with the Dominion in some capacity because they are presumably still in power there, right? I mean, there's no reason.
Yeah, they just retreated to their borders. They're still a major power,
right?
And they're not dying,
right? We don't have. So what? Yeah, I guess what is the relationship of them with the crew? That would be like, it's not hostile, right? Because there is a ceasefire at least. There's a treaty at least, right? But we are now in their territory. Are they allowed to go into the Dominion controlled territory?
Is there a neutral zone?
The neutral zone's called the distance between our places without a wormhole.
Are they supposed to not use the wormhole? I wonder if that's part of the treaty.
Well, but you can make anything up. It's been 25 years.
I mean, I can't see the Federation being like, yes, we'll stay on our side of the wormhole. That kind of defeats the whole purpose.
Yeah, but there was a big war. I mean, you know what I mean?
But the founders lost.
Right. Right, but that doesn't mean we get whatever we want.
Well, it means we get what. Yeah, it is exactly what it means. We're the winners. We get what we want. That is how wars work.
I mean, they could mine the other side of the wormhole if they wanted to, or whatever.
That would be interesting. And I'm not going to try to. I mean, you guys can do it. For some reason, we could say that we have not gone into the wormhole in 10 years or something. Like it wasn't like we can. It doesn't have to be because of the war, but like for whatever reason, and maybe it's that. There's been no contact, basically. And, this could be sort of a going into the unknown again. Like, we don't know what we're going to find. And
you could have... So I was just thinking, when you were talking, like, we could have that same scene from the beginning of Battlestar where, there's like this... one ship goes through the wormhole to meet one person to one person, and then they get killed or whatever.
Oh, we have the space station where we meet every decade to.
Let's see. I don't know. What's the most interesting story? Like, is it that we haven't had contact with them for years, or that they're just?
I mean, then it kind of feels like a Romulan "we're back" discussion.
Well, I mean, this is where you can play with a lot of things. You can either introduce a new race, because again, Daniel, you're in DS9. I'm not. We don't know that much about the Gamma Quadrant. Like maybe with the Dominion kind of squeezed into their own area, another race is now more dominant. Or
true.
There was a shakeup in the Dominion, and now maybe take your pick. The Vorta are now in charge.
I mean, if I'm going to pick,
the Jem'Hadar
it's
are
not
now
the
in
Vorta,
charge.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So let's do.
We're basically saying
the Wadi are in charge.
we're getting old Wayun. Like that's just.
Oh, hey, I like that.
Of course we are.
I like that. Yeah, definitely.
We did old people in Picard with because with people who could not make sense because he's a clone. Why would he age? We're hand wave. There's a reason he's an old clone of Wayun now.
Look, if Data can be old, Wayun
exactly.
can be old.
The only concern I have
he's Wayun 0.5. He's been lived way longer than he should.
Yeah, because
my only concern is just that we've had a Dominion war. So aggression with the Dominion, again, without changing something, it feels redundant. So I like the idea that there's been a shakeup there. Like, let's just say that
Daniel, we did the Borg for 3 straight seasons of
I
Picard.
I understand.
It's been 30 years since we've seen the Dominion on TV. I'm just saying.
Let's say that the changelings have gone underground, right? They have left. They took their rogue planet, and they moved it somewhere else, and nobody knows where they are. They're just gone. They decided that
Daniel, because it's been a while since didn't they do that before? Because I remember it was the Tal Shiar.
It's not that they moved it; it's that they gave false information and false readings, so that they thought that Planet A was their home planet, and they came with their whole fleet and then attacked it, and then there's nothing there, and then they got their butt kicked. And so, yeah, that it wasn't they moved the planet. Although I could see them doing that. Maybe they go super isolationist and they pull. I mean, because their original plan was we conquer the galaxy so that no one can poke us, and do. So maybe if they change that to, okay, well, we're just going to take this little sector and basically make a sphere of Jem'Hadar around it. Like, you just cannot get near us. Like, so we're going for like a defensive shield versus an expansionary tactic.
And that's interesting, or it could be interesting, is like, what if in the Dominion, the founders just disappeared one day? And so what happens?
So the Vorta,
takes
the
control?
Vorta are like trying to keep it going. Oh yeah, the founders are totally still here. Jem'Hadar, that would kill us if they knew.
I mean, that would be interesting.
So
okay, let's say
because they could either go into civil
kind of
war.
like a Fall of Rome vibe, like when think of. I mean, you want to talk about a power vacuum? I mean, my goodness, like who's gonna?
So I was thinking, what if the and we don't know this. Maybe this is part of the mystery of the story or whatever. But
episode 8, we learn.
Well, no, we will not do it that late into the season. But what if someone has cured the Jem'Hadar of their need for Ketracel?
Mm-hmm.
and then they don't need the Vorta anymore, right? That
another race.
Another race?
Yeah, another race has cured the Jem'Hadar.
Oh yeah, we don't know. I mean, we can make
yeah.
that whatever we want, but that would definitely change the dynamic of the Dominion. So that
it's the race that likes to play a game. Perhaps
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the saying. The Wadi. I kind of like this general direction though, because all of a sudden the Federation is like, now we have to deal with a dozen splinter groups of species and planets. Like the Dominion is fractured. It is and it's like, in a way it was better when we were dealing with one people, one government. Now so everybody wants the wormhole. Everybody wants trade, and so it's like everything's exploded. So yeah, so we send our master negotiator Janeway through to set up. What if they build another station on the other side of the wormhole?
Ooh, it's the Dominion. I mean, you mean they're not Dominion anymore, but yeah, the Dominion Deep Space Nine, basically.
And I'm not saying it's literally that station, but I'm saying maybe we take we dust off the old regular one model. We maybe turn it 90 degrees.
Yeah, turn it. That's what we do.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so the Federation has a permanent presence on that side of the Federation
it's a Bajoran station.
Yeah.
I mean, because of course,
it would be.
You know what I'm saying?
So what does a Bajoran space station look like?
Yeah, because the DS9 is a Cardassian station. So yeah, it's a Bajoran station.
We see some redneck ensign, not redneck. Went behind the years. That's what I meant to say. Some new ensign who comes to the station for the first time. They're like one of our POV characters, and they're like, I wouldn't expect a Bajoran station to look like this. It's very different. And then, Kira's just like, what do you mean that was a Cardassian station? That's not what our stuff looks like. It's very oval. And, there's a plug-in for all the orbs, somewhere.
Where's the grinding gear thing? I was looking for the grinding gear thing. You just have a door. It's weird.
But the door just has to go like whom, whom, whum, because it's oval, so it doesn't work as well.
Looks like an egg rolling down.
It's like an egg rolling down. It's like this. Why is all this air getting around the sides? Anyway, turns out a round gear is the
and
best
then
way.
It would also be interesting. And sorry, this is just messing up for whatever. I mean, what is Bajoran society like now? I mean, are they still a theocracy?
The provisional government is no longer provisional. It's actually
it's been
the
like 30
actual
years.
government.
The perpetually provisional government.
This is the day. This is it. Episode 1 or 2 is like, we are now the government after 30 years. Knocking off provisional.
You just see someone like going up to a plaque on a government building and just like chiseling off the word provisional. Like that's all that's changed. Nothing has changed. It's just by name only. What if they join the Federation?
Ooh, there you go. That's it. There you go.
So we have some key inciting incidents. We have the Bajor joins the Federation. They're holding it on their new station they built on the other side of the wormhole. It's all happening
at one time. Yep.
And there's like a delegation of the dozen coalition of planets that are basically the fractured Dominion, trying to like establish themselves for trade and for things like that. Because again, now we have to deal with all these individual worlds, because the Dominion as a giant tract of land is gone. That actually sounds really interesting.
Yeah. Oh, because I can see this. I mean, again, maybe this is tropish, but all these dignitaries are coming, and Admiral Janeway's representing as one of the senior commanders. And then people come, blah blah blah, and then something happens midway through the episode in this big ceremony. There's a bomb, or there's a kidnapping,
always a bomb.
or something, and then there's a message.
It gives me very Babylon 5 vibes, like the different coalitions together.
And then there's some maybe an unseen terrorist message, and so we don't know who it is. Is it the Vorta? Is it the Jem'Hadar?
Well, maybe it's
Dominion?
some of
we don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's one of the worlds on the Gamma Quadrant side is like, hey, Bajor, you can't just build a station on our side and claim this side of the wormhole for you. I mean, and Bajor's kind of like, well, no, that's not why we're here. And they're like, really?
Yeah. And so, yeah, and
I'm just picturing Janeway now giving a speech. He's like, when I was stuck in the Gamma Quadrant, there's a little ensign's like, Delta Quadrant, Delta Quadrant, which was not the quadrant we are in now. I have to rewrite my speech on the fly. Yes.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think, and we don't have to answer it. What is the theme? Like, as you were saying earlier, Daniel, the earlier themes of Picard, this one, is it test, I don't like these dark themes, but I'll still play. Well, like, is it testing the Federation expansion? Because, is this imperialism that we're just going to the Gamma Quadrant, which, we're not where we're from? Or is it, what happens? And again, a little heavy, I know. Is it like Iraq where, you defeat Saddam, but now there's like a dozen people now you have to fight because he was the bad guy keeping all of them together. And now you've, defeated the founders, but now there's like a dozen. Because also we may not know all that was in the Dominion. Like we only saw 2, maybe 3. There could be like a dozen Dominion races.
That's how I view it, as like several worlds and...
It's like the Remans. They were there the whole time.
Well, and I kind of think of maybe something like post-Civil War, like Reconstruction, and again, Bajor is the key of all this because they now they've had experience with Cardassia and Cardassia kind of reconstructing after the war, but you also, the Dominion War, not the Bajor War, but, but so you also have the Federation trying to help all these individual worlds, not have, because they don't want like the little worlds to get squashed. Or heck, you could have like 2 or 3 systems apply for Federation membership. So you have this little tiny like Federation blob in the Gamma Quadrant.
I think okay, so thematically,
a lot of you are like, we want to share our game.
Yes.
I don't thematically. If we're dealing with the fall of the Dominion, I
Tosk.
do.
What was he? One of his.
Oh yeah, Tosk. That's right. I would not want to see them come back into power because that's a net. Like you said, Philip. It's a
I think they've taken themselves off the board.
Yeah, right. I think that's cool because that really removes like this power vacuum, and then like you don't have to do.
But what do you think, Daniel?
I don't have to explain Odo because now he's gone. We don't know. He's disappeared.
Well, yeah, that's true. But we also
Ambassador Odo later.
I also don't want it to be like, okay, so then the end of the story is that everybody becomes part of the Federation, because I think that's too easy.
No,
and also,
I don't
like. What if the story ends with like us assisting them in starting their own sort of coalition of of unified peoples? Like that way, you get all all these smaller societies or whatever, and they build up their own strength from within, and we just assist with that, right?
And you get a lot of vibes of DS9 because, I mean, remember in the beginning of DS9, it's right after the occupation, and we're picking up the pieces of Bajor. We don't know anything about what a planet in the Dominion is like. Are they? And so I'm going to assume is not like as crazy occupation. Like these planets have been for like millennia. Like I'm assuming they know no other way of life than being in the Dominion. So again, all of a sudden your government is gone. So you have to establish a new one. Like, so that's where I'm really interested.
It's like the Dark Ages, literally. I mean,
and I'm interested in this station on the Gamma Quadrant side, because I totally see, the point of view of one of these ambassadors from some little world that's like, I don't want to get swept up in some other mini Dominion. We want to be independent, but I don't know how to do that because we literally know nothing else.
And again, I'm just going too dark, which I don't like to do, but it's also the legacy of Bajor. Because, for instance, and I don't want to go this way, but I'm just throwing it out there, because Bajor comes from such, an occupation. And you can split this up into factions of Bajorans. Are there some who now look like the Cardassians? Sort of like a cycle of abuse. They are now like, oh, we know what it takes to be powerful. That's never gonna happen to us again. And so you have those kind of Bajorans who are going that way.
Yeah. I think you could have Bajorans, some that are like, oh, we shouldn't be in the Gamma Quadrant. That's not our Bajor first and all that stuff. And then you could have others that are like, no, we know what this is like. Let us help these people. We are keenly situated to be. And then others who are like, but we can't be saviors. We need to let them stand on their own. So you have all these different sub ideologies.
So and I could see a religious perspective of wanting to be on both sides of the Celestial Temple.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking that it would turn into a religious path, like a ritual for them to go through the wormhole, with an orb or something. But
right.
So if we have, let's think, if we have a Federation character that is Bajoran that we could use. Oh, we could use Ro. Oh, wait. No, we can't use Ro.
If Bajor has joined the Federation, then you have Captain Kira Nerys.
I was just thinking, we could definitely bring Kira. I mean, even if she's not a major player, she would at least be representing.
She's going to be in there somewhere.
Yeah.
You can't.
Commodore Nerys.
Yeah.
Just got to get that Commodore rank sometimes.
Even if she joined the Federation, I don't think she'd join Starfleet, right? I think she'd still be just like representing the government of. I mean, with
the Bajoran militia, this is always a good question. Does the Bajoran militia automatically transfer into Starfleet, or is it still the Bajoran militia?
I mean, you got to think every planet has their own. I
mean, Starfleet's roaming Earth's streets, but
That's true. But yeah, no, I like that thought of. Because you have all sorts of things you can play with. You have, these other worlds that are trying to usurp their, or assert their independence. You have Bajor, and I love this inciting day of, the completion of the new station and entering into, or maybe we don't have them enter into the Federation. Maybe it's their. Maybe it's another bait and switch at the very last minute when they're like, and Bajor will not be joining and all the Federation is like, what? We helped you build the station. Yeah.
I mean, and again, a slight.
Hey, Sisko said not yet, not now. He's like, but he's gone. He can't come back to say, but now.
Sorry. I just thought, what if there's a new emissary?
Good.
There probably is.
And it's Jake Sisko.
Yeah. Geez.
He's a quarter emissary, Darren.
Oh, quarter. Dear Lord.
I'm just telling you.
That could be. I mean, and you could, and the new emissary is one of the races from the Gamma Quadrant because he would have come through the Celestial Temple.
Hey, there you go. Your hero character.
Why does he have to be Bajoran? Bajoran.
Sisko.
Or heck, you could discover a planet of Bajorans that made it through the Celestial Temple but didn't know what it was, like early spaceflight Bajorans.
The solar ships.
Yeah. So like solar ship Bajorans who then like have this little tiny colony of Bajor that.
And they never went through the occupation, so they're going to be completely different.
Or maybe they went through, they were part of the Dominion. And so it's a whole different aspect. I mean, this is what's exciting is you could feel the writer's room being like, oh, there's so many stories to tell.
And then
but I like that. I like the thought of but I like that thought of another emissary coming from the other side.
Lauren's child is on that other station, Lorne, or something. Just like, just because you have to have one on each side.
Well, and I'm also thinking maybe the Bajorans from the Gamma Quadrant could either have like a different type of earring or like no earring or something that,
well, apparently in the 25th century, those ridges just kind of melted away. I don't know what it was.
Maybe they're more rowish where they have the T bit of skin above their nose. Or they just look like old Trill. We're like, wait a minute.
Well, the if you wanted to help differentiate from a viewer aspect, you could be that your new race of Bajorans, the Dominion ones, do have the T.
Right. That's what I was meaning.
Okay.
That's the visual representation. Or you could even do some cool like tattoo up the bridge of their nose, like going up their forehead. I'm just trying to think of something where
do they still follow
clearly
caste system that they had to follow back in the day?
But like very clearly you can tell like that this is a Gamma Quadrant Bajoran, a GB. I like that thought.
Because you could introduce, and again, I'm being very tropish, a young Bajoran from that group.
They grew up nothing. They're learning about, so they're the RIs person where they're learning about the Federation.
These like the ex-Borgs.
So help me decide on, does Bajor join the Federation? I
think, and again, this is what I was going to say, this may be a retread, so tell me if it is. I mean, it is, but tell me if it's bad. Either A, like they're going to decide, like you were joking, but I like that, where they like, at the end of episode 1, they're like, no, we're not going to do it. And now we have to figure out why. And the answer is somewhere in the Gamma Quadrant because of the inciting incident or something. Or, I don't know, something. Or 2, and again, retread, because I know there's sort of statuses of getting to membership. So like they're I don't know, provisional member, but like there's still like one more step before formal, and that this series will answer that question. Which you're like, well, it's 30 years. Haven't they solved the darn thing already? But we could play it that way too. I mean,
I guess the only thing,
like there was a date, date on episode 10 is when they're going to sign the charter, and so things. I
like the thought of them deciding not to join the Federation, but it's also a Star Trek show. So it feels like if there's no Federation presence, then this is a very different show. Like, I need me some Starfleet and some Federation, because that's a big part of Star Trek.
That Bajor would just say no, but then also like it feels kind of like a waste of Deep Space Nine, because that was kind of the whole point, like all of that effort that Cisco went through.
Ooh,
so. I
think we already answered this question. They say yes, but this is Bajor like on our side of the wormhole. So then all of a sudden we discover this Bajoran colony on the other side and all these other planets, and so like they are considering themselves independent at this point. And so again, you kind of get the best of both, because you have a Bajor, whatever they call their planet, moon, and Bajor, and they had very different last 100 years.
But to be fair, I mean, it's not 100 years, but there were Bajor, there was colonies in the Gamma Quadrant. There are Bajoran colonies in the Gamma Quadrant, in Deep Space Nine. So
right, but I'm saying that this is I was coming up with the idea of a Bajoran colony that, like, in the solar sail day.
Yeah, no, I get. Back. Yeah, I understand that, but I'm just saying you already have established colonies there, anyways. So I don't know if you need to go back that far to sort of create a divide. Like,
true.
If they shut down,
I see what you're saying.
If they shut down the wormhole between the end of the war and, let's say, not this show, that means there are colonies of Bajorans that have grown up for a generation.
Did we shut down the wormhole? Did that?
Well, no,
happen?
I'm saying if we establish that they.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you can always argue that Dominion just obliterated them.
I mean, I don't know if I want to go that far, just because that kind of squashes our building a station on the other side plan.
Well, I was just thinking you could do one of two ways. We could either do what we were originally saying, or you could say, maybe Darren, this is what you were saying. Sorry if is that those former Bajorans, whatever you want to call them, have built their own station.
The Bajora. Yeah.
Yeah, the Bajora have built their own station. Like, for some reason, it's
not even ours. Oh, man.
And so it is
cool. 100%
Bajoran, so the design team can go crazy. But like, and so it's not like right there, obviously, when you go to the wormhole, but it's like, all right. Because it's the Dominion, old Dominion.
It's close
border.
enough to see the wormhole, just like DS9 is close enough to see the wormhole.
It makes sense, right? Because it's still those Bajorans would still worship the.
Did they take over the Dominion when the founders left?
I don't see that. I see them being like a key player in the fracturing of the other, spin-off groups, but. I mean, I like your idea, Philip. I just have a hard time feeling like any planet after the fall of the the Dominion has the like infrastructure to build a station. Like they are all, I felt like they were all just under the Dominion thumb, and maybe they just like sidestep over the shipyards. That's true.
Since the war ended. Because we could make up when the founders left. Could have been 20 years they left. I don't know how long, replicators, how long does it take to build a station these days?
Yeah, it could be just a really tiny, crappy station, too. Like just a sort of a...
Stationette.
Stationette.
Bajor 1, not Deep Space Nine. Yeah.
Outpost 12.
So either way, we have a station on the Gamma side, and that's where these council and other... again, I think of Babylon 5 and like the League of Non-Aligned Worlds. Like you have one ambassador that's covering like a dozen planets, but you still have your main hitters. You have someone representing the Jem'Hadar, who they're not like they don't have a planet. They're like roaming in ships, like and trying to, maybe they're more mercenary, or and we can define what happened after the Dominion went into their shell and just sequestered themselves.
Yeah, because I'm actually, and I don't want to I'm happy with just like they disappeared and we're never going to answer why. And it's not like a Spock shuttle. Like we're not going to answer it. Like they disappeared. No one knows why. That's it. There's no mystery other than they're gone. We don't know why. We're not going to try to answer it. And that's not the mystery of the show.
They're like Delta Quadrant. That sounds like a new place to start.
Yeah, exactly.
But the caretaker array pulled their planet over to Ocampa.
Yeah, they just started the Voyager journey.
No, it's really interesting though. It's a lot of fun ideas.
Because I think if you have, because Janeway, of course, doesn't play by the rules, and she plays dirty, as we know from Voyager. Making rules with the Borg and she plays outside the scope. So I mean, it's not like this is a strange world for her. Oh God, what can Janeway operate? She can operate in a non.
Is Janeway taking rules. The position, maybe not publicly, but internally, of like, we kind of need some sort of mini Dominion back to like add stability to this group. And of course, which is in odds with like Kira's point of view, which is like, heck no, everybody's independent and does their own thing, even though they're structurally weaker. So I guess who's the villain? Like, is there a villain race, like one planet that's, like a Gorn type, and they're trying to fill that vacuum.
I already said old Wayun, so I don't know what you want.
Old Wayun.
Vorta would be interesting, though. I don't know, other than power for power's sake, I don't know what they would want. I would think that the antagonists would be the newly freed, very dangerous race of super soldiers, just because but there's not they also don't have like a direction. Somebody would have had to have taken
a new race. There's a new right. I like that where someone else has basically taken the Jem'Hadar, cured them, and so it's more of a we're not telling you what to do, Jem'Hadar. You're just voluntarily working for us, right. And it's a new race.
Yeah, but maybe their cure did something like psychologically, like they're still under their thumb. They're just not as blatantly
changed
obvious.
Them, and that's why the makeup is different.
It's Ketracel blue, totally different than Ketracel
white. New
white.
Generation.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. I would only want to add that. Let's say they take like 90% of the Jem'Hadar. I still want there to be like a 10% nomadic, ship only culture of Jem'Hadar that are kind of like, we're not going to be under anyone ever again, and we're just going to sail around the galaxy and do what we want. I think that
could be a whole episode, encountering that Jem'Hadar for whatever reason.
Well, again, to make Babylon 5 comparisons, like it reminds me of the Narn, who were, a subjugated slave race. Mm-hmm. And then at the beginning of Babylon 5, they have just kind of usurped their independence from the Centauri. And there's a lot of like bad blood and it's okay having
that sounds like a nerd show, Darren.
Well, it's okay having, another species be the big bad, but really the bad and the antagonist force of this story is just, how do we come together after a giant war and occupation? Yeah. How do you rebuild like that? That's a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah. Wow, lots of ideas. I didn't expect it to go in that direction, but
Also, I queued up I made a timeline because we keep talking about it. So, so Nemesis is 79. Lower Decks is 80 and 81. So it's like right after Nemesis. And then Prodigy is 83, 84.
I mean, right on top of it. Yeah.
wow, right after time.
Picard flashback. So that's like when we go see like Rafi in
80s,
uniform
90s?
is 85. So right after.
Right on top of it.
And then there's a huge gap until 99, which is when Picard season 1 starts. So yeah, there is,
but you sort of pollute the, I mean, not that you can't do stories in that 10 years, but you sort of like, it's, what's the word I'm trying to look for? The ban, it has to be in effect. Mars has to be on fire.
Right.
Like that's the world you're living in. And the Federation.
Yeah. So it's like 13 years between that Picard flashback and, but again, we're like 15, 16 years from Lower Decks. So
wait, when does Daniels fit in?
Crewman Daniels is like the 31st century.
Yeah, it's way in the future.
Resurgence also takes place in 2380. So the same, it's all
okay.
In the same year.
Well, and that makes sense because that's like the right after Nemesis moment, which is, I mean, Nemesis is a very key moment in Star Trek as far as like kind of pre-post Nemesis.
Wait a minute. What year does 2009 take place then?
2009. No, I'm just kidding.
23rd century.
Yeah, that's
yes,
like.
but the Star Trek, the Spock going through.
Because obviously,
and the destruction of Romulus.
It would have been after Flashback Picard, so it would have been the 90s, I would think.
Right.
Because obviously it has to have getting ready to explode was, so. We
need to just, Paramount needs to just make a big old timeline, an interactive timeline. You could go to a website and you can sort of just drag around and
Star Trek
click
chronology.
On things. Yeah, make an official one. That'd be cool. I would have a lot of fun.
It just looks like Crewman Daniels is hologram.
Yeah,
I think it's 2387. The destruction of Romulus.
Yeah,
is 2387.
Okay, 2387. Nothing else happened that year, right? That we talked about.
Not yet.
Okay. Interesting.
But I'm just putting this all together so it's like we remember what's going on.
I know. Timeline macro.
Exactly. Yeah,
right.
And then I have TNG, DS9, Voyager, First Contact, Insurrection, and Nemesis all plotted out. So,
Darren, get to building the timeline.
I did. I mean, I
everything in there.
sometimes use the one on Wikipedia, but that's more showing, like in Earth time when shows were made.
Your Earth time.
Yeah. Your Earth.
3 of your Earth years. All right. Well, that's a lot of fun. We started talking about Janeway and then ended up talking Kira. But we could mash them all together and make them work.
I mean, this would be 2 fun characters to bounce off each other.
Oh, they definitely. I have a feeling. I don't know. Would they?
That's why I was saying, but Kira was more of the we all need to be independent and not be under anyone's thumb. And Janeway, again, like we kind of mentioned, her Borg solution of like, I'm going to, not a Borg solution, but a different solution than you would expect a Starfleet person to make. And being more like, hey, we kind of need a strong power for stabilizing them. We're like, yeah, I don't think Kira is going to like that. And maybe Janeway is thinking, that's another power in the Gamma Quadrant rising. Maybe it's the Federation coming in.
And I think Kira, which of course this is all a DS9 day, I'm sure you can tell us. I mean, if there's like a terrorist attack on the station, if we go that route, Kira has to confront what happens when the terrorists are attacking you, Kira.
Right.
Where's your loyalty? Whose perspective do you see now?
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate when the terrorist is your sister, and because all Bajoran terrorists are related to Kira Nerys, is how it works. No.
Well, it was a lot of fun coming up with that stuff. Hopefully there's some good nuggets out there for the future writers whenever they decide to cover the Gamma Quadrant there's some good ideas for you. But Darren, if people wanted to get a hold of you, talk to you about what's happening in the Gamma Quadrant these days, how would they find you?
They can go to drsci-fi.com.
And Philip, if people wanted to know what's going on in the Delta Quadrant, how would they get a hold of you?
They can find me at NC Public Servant.
And since I'm on Earth, they can find, and there's only one quadrant that the Earth is in. They can find me at One Up Dan.
That's not true. It's literally
two quadrants.
Listen, only one.
Look, as the Earth goes around the sun, it's like beta, alpha.
I was going to say, like, if you live like where you lived, you have to change your address in the summer.
No,
like
right.
Alpha Quadrant. Oh, sorry, winter.
Whose
now I'm in the
idea
beta
was
quadrant.
it to draw the line right down?
You mean why Earth would be in the middle? I think it was Earth's idea, but anyway.
Yeah, probably. The people drawing the lines, I imagine, had a lot to do with that. You know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will catch you next week. I'm Daniel Prue.
I'm Philip Kilfus.
And I'm Darren Moser.
Stranded here on SETI Alpha 3.